You know, if you're a data scientist, you've definitely faced this problem. You do all this amazing work, you have these incredible insights, and then where does it all go? So today, we're going to dive into a new way to make sure those brilliant ideas are never lost.
I mean, really think about it. You're running dozens, maybe hundreds of experiments. You have those aha moments. You make these tiny little tweaks that have a huge impact. But fast forward a few months, could you really trace back every single decision that led you to that final model? I bet it's tough.
And that's the heart of the problem, right? Those brilliant insights, the context, the why behind a choice, it just vanishes into thin air right between all those experiments. So let's talk about how we can start saving them.
Okay, so to really get our heads around the solution, we've got to first define the problem. We're going to call it the knowledge black hole. And trust me, it's all about one thing. Context is king.
Now, the fancy term for this is knowledge fragmentation. It's this slow, quiet erosion of the story behind your model. And we're not just talking about losing a few lines of code. We're talking about losing the reasoning, all the dead ends you hit, and those crucial pivots that made the project a success. It's the stuff that's absolutely essential for anyone who has to pick up your work later. And this table, man, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have the chaotic reality a lot of teams are living in. Information is all over the place, context is gone, and a new person on the team has to spend weeks, literally weeks, just trying to figure out what happened. On the other side, that's the dream, right? Everything is centralized, context is saved, and every decision is traceable. Knowledge becomes a real asset, not a huge headache.
Now, you're probably thinking, wait, but we have tools for all this stuff. And you're not wrong. We've got experiment trackers, we've got data catalogs, MLOps platforms. The problem is they all live in their own little worlds, their own silos. A data scientist has to play detective, jumping between all these different tools just to piece together the full story. And that's exactly where the fragmentation creeps in.
So we know we've got these silos, but what exactly are our current tools and processes missing? There's a really specific, kind of subtle gap in the typical workflow that we really need to talk about.
And look, we've got some great established frameworks out there. I mean, CRISP-DM, the cross-industry standard process for data mining. It's fantastic for giving us a process. And projects like OpenML are great for standardizing how we talk about things. These are awesome for organizing the tasks, but they're missing something deeper.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question. If we have the processes and we have the tools, what is that fundamental piece of the puzzle that's still not in our toolkit?
And here it is. The answer is in all that stuff that happens between the big conceptual idea and the final lines of code. It's all the little assumptions you make, the hypotheses you test, the quick and dirty experimental evaluations. This is the connective tissue of a project, and it's almost never written down anywhere.
So this all leads us to a totally new way of thinking about this. An approach that's not just about the what or the how, but really truly capturing the why behind every single decision.
And the core idea here? It's actually super simple, but it's powerful. Instead of trying to write a massive document after the project is done, you capture knowledge as it's happening, right there in the context of the work you're already doing. It's about weaving knowledge capture right into your workflow, so it's not some extra chore you have to do at the end.
And the best part? Getting started is not some huge, complicated thing. It's designed to be really straightforward. You install the library, you take a look at a basic recipe for how to log your thoughts, find a template that fits what you're doing, and boom, you're off to the races. No massive overhaul of your systems required.
And let's be super clear about who this is for. This isn't some high-level management tool. No, this is built for the people in the trenches, the data scientists and the data analysts who are actually doing the work day in and day out, and who really feel the pain when context gets lost.
All right, let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture here. Why does this even matter? Why should you care about solving this seemingly small documentation problem?
Because the payoff is absolutely huge. This isn't just about having cleaner notebooks. We're talking about achieving the holy grail of data science, real, honest-to-goodness reproducibility. When you save that context, you get higher quality models, you get better performance, and you build this priceless asset for your whole company, strong institutional knowledge that doesn't walk out the door when someone leaves.
And hey, since this is a problem that affects pretty much everyone in the field, it only makes sense that the solution is for everyone too. That's why this tool is open source, with a friendly Apache 2.0 license. Anyone can use it, anyone can build on it, and we can all work together on solving this challenge.
So I want to leave you with this one final thought.
We spend so much time and energy trying to make our models explainable and fair. But if a model's own history is a total black box, if it can't even explain its own past, how much should we really trust what it's going to do in the future? It's definitely something to think about.